thought lang yan. Pabalik ako sa breath ko. And then that disappears.
Kailan mo pre-practice to? New York or LA?
New York to. So,
Kailangan mo sa New York talaga yan.
yes, because New York is a very, very different culture. So I started with MTV as a producer. Then I ended up actually producing shows and content for all the channels, like Comedy Central, TV Land, VH1, BET. So my role there was a production director. So, and New York City is a beast. I would say for anybody who's planning to like migrate to the States, if you're in your 20s to 30s, New York, and you're like driven, New York is for you. So yun, pag nag-focus ko sa breath, lahat yun.
Saan?
Sa breast. Sa breath. Sorry.
Okay na eh.
Okay na.
Welcome to the Paco's Place podcast.
And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, nakuha rin natin siya. Oh my God. Mr. Ted Reyes!
Thank you. Thanks, Paco. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Papay. Thanks, Cheryl. It's an honor.
Teodolfo Reyes Jr. Akala mo?
Dapat di ko imbitahan si Papay dito eh.
Akala mo ilulusot ko yun, ha?
Walang may alam nun. Si Papay lang. Si Brian na pala siya ngayon. Brian Elazigui.
Diba?
So,
minsan alam mo, paupuin ko kayong dalawa sa yellow couch. I-interviewin ko kayong dalawa. Mukhang maraming lalabas eh.
Ngayon, kanina marami lumabas. Yun ang topic natin next time.
Grabe. Para tayo nag-isang podcast before the podcast.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go right to the meats and potatoes para at least mahuli ng lahat na ikaw, sa mga hindi nakakakilala sa iyo, you've been around the block dito sa Amerika. Mapa East Coast, mapa West Coast. You've been entrenched in the music industry. You have a band. In spite of that, you've operated behind the scenes sa mainstream, ha? MTV, ngayon Sony. Why is it that you are so connected to the music industry and yet hindi mo pinalilipad yung sarili mo? From the time you were with Free Souls.
Yeah. I think we got here.
Who's we?
With Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Yeah, we both.
Shout out.
Yeah. That was when we decided not to come here. We just wanted to do music. Like, sinasabi ko sa'yo kanina, the intro voice were a huge part.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, no kidding. I play your songs on the piano when I was like 14.
Malamang however which way.
Exactly. Because C, G, A minor, F, that's a different way of doing that.
Yes.
Yung
ginawa ni JJ na exercise.
Matindi eh. Parang, it was an eye-opening thing na, it was one of those things na parang, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And from then on, hindi na yun nabago. Kahit na sa professional life, obviously, immigrants tayo rito. So, I started doing random things. Like, odd jobs at first, like everyone else. Then, napunta ako sa writing for a newspaper. But, nagbabanda pa rin ako during that.
But, okay, I'm stuck when you said we. You and Cheryl came here as a couple.
Yes.
But you were not married when you came here.
Yes. We were college sweethearts. So we came here together and then we got married here.
What was the conversation like? And the reason why I'm asking is because like ako nga it took me a while to find Janelle in my life, no. And ang nakakatuwa sa part na yun is I can go anywhere with Janelle and she can go anywhere with me. Kumbaga, swak kami. But you found that early on in your life. Paano? Like, what was the conversation between you and Cheryl? And hats off to her because sa inyong dalawa, ikaw yung nakaharap eh.
Right.
So, you have one strong woman backing you up eh.
I think that's always been the story with us, no? Parang, you're lucky too na Janelle gets you.
Yes.
I think that is the most important, is that you can be yourself with your partner. You're not wearing a mask. So, early on, nung nagde-date kami sa UST, I was already with Free Soul. So, I was playing, I was in a recording company. BMG with River Maya, Eraserheads. We were touring with 3 Days ni Papay.
Mm-hmm.
And he got it. She got it. Like, she was like, this is you, do it. And that never changed till to this day.
So, paano yung conversation? Do you remember kung nasan kayo when you said punta tayong Amerika? Nasan kayo?
I was about to teach sa Southridge, right?
Okay.
So, and then we got the call na okay na yung papers to move here. So my brother, who's a priest, was like, you're not doing this teaching anymore kasi Opus Dei priest siya. He recommended me to teach there. I'm like, no. So I talked to her, to Cheryl, and Cheryl was like, if you want to do music, this is your chance to do it. Like, because
Galing.
by then sa Philippines, wala na yung banda eh. Banda kami. I was still writing songs, but her focus was like, you can be yourself there. So that was the conversation, and I deferred to her, like, do you think we should do this? And she was like, let's do it.
Important yun, no, to defer.
I think yes.
Si Michael Abad, that cost him a kitchen dahil hindi siya nag-defer at saka Tesla. Shout out to Ives.
Defer, always defer. It's
No,
important.
Mike?
I think it's for a healthy life. I think it should always be with someone, with a partner, whether it's like a business partner, because you hear yourself saying something and you get the feedback. I think that is very important.
Anong pinaka real criticism, feedback, comment na binigay ni Cheryl sa'yo?
Madami sa buhok, everyday yan. Your hair is bad, or like your pero sa music important. Yeah, sa damit ko ganon. But that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Pag wala yun, you're alone, you're by yourself. You're blind.
Yeah.
So it's sa music, siya yung A&R ko, like I have this tune, pag sinabi niya maganda to, I'll do it. Ganon. So importante sa akin yun na, and that's why it's a partnership. You know, so iba siya pagka yung partner mo sa band, iba yun eh. Pero yung somebody na you share life with, you'll get the honest answer all the time.
Why did it take you a long time to get married?
I would say because medyo hindi conventional yung approach namin sa life. Like I mentioned earlier, the way we live now is very minimalist. We don't own anything. We moved to LA, wala kaming car, wala kaming furniture. So we moved to Little Tokyo. You see white walls there. So ang only thing lang na meron kami is one TV, our laptops, and some musical instruments that I have
Wala kang kama?
Wala. So we have a Japanese rolling
Hindi
bed.
pa nga tatami matang meron yun. Hindi pa ganun.
Hindi. So that's why our friends, when they visited once last year, they assured us they're never gonna come back.
Kaya once.
Yeah, once na. They're like, mag-hotel na lang kami pare.
Okay, so pagdating nyo sa Amerika, hindi pa kayo LA. Nag-jump tayo. Nag-New York ka pa eh.
Yeah, so New York. My sister lives there. So siya yung nag-start sa amin. So sa New York. But so pinasok niya kami sa kung ano-anong jobs until na gusto namin talaga is magbanda. So I formed my first band a year after kami nag-move.
What's it called?
Ang banda nun is called Blood.
Okay.
So,
Abutan ko yan.
So yung Blood, tinayo namin yon using songs na dinemo ko sa Free Souls when we were breaking up then. So kasama dun yung song na Bye Bye Na.
Yeah.
Na that Rico Blanco sang yon. So kami yung original na nag-play nun as Blood, pero it was a different take of it. It's like a hard rock. So yung version ni Rico ng 2003 was more like acoustic.
Who wrote it?
I wrote the song.
Anong feeling ng isang Ted Reyes na creation kinanta ng isang Rico Blanco?
Rico and I, marami kaming storya kasi so it was really, nagtutour sila dito no when I said, Rico, do you wanna do this for Himagandog? He said yes. Kasi,
nagtutour sila rito as River Maya?
Yes. Nung si Liza pa, kompleto pa sila. Pero si ano yun, was it si Japs pa and yung umaalaw umuulan era, the period.
Okay.
So, nandito sila noon. Tapos, yun, Liza Nakpil, okay sa kanila na siya yung mag-interpret ng song. Pero, Rico got us to BMG. Kasi, yung Free Souls, nag-front act sa River Maya gig na produce nung class niya ni Cheryl sa UST. Kami yung front act. By then, nung time na yun, we were playing kind of like 60s style music. And all original. With the map top. Sa originals yun. Nakita ni Rico. Tapos, after that, yung manager namin nun, si Henry, nakakuha ng call from BMG na, "Oy, Rico saw you. Are you interested in joining the company or something like that or signing with BMG?" And we were like, hell yeah. So, it was Rico.
Ang galing ni Rico, no? He knows how to pay things forward, no?
He's great.
And to think that guy was almost never gonna make it to River Maya if not for Nathan and Kenneth.
I didn't know that story.
So si Nathan at si Kenneth ang
Nag-ano sa kanya.
very loner lang yan during the audition.
Oh. He's great. So the last time he was here, we had dinner pa sa New York.
Okay.
That was when he was doing his solo stuff.
With Ira, kasama sina Ira noon.
Yun yung time na meron pa sila nila Rames na tsaka si Buddy na single, ganon. And we had dinner and interesting yung journey niya. Pero ang laki ng gratitude ko din sa kanya kasi the Free Souls wouldn't have been with BMG if not for him.
So he broke the ice for you.
Yes.
So finally, nung kinanta niya yung bye-bye na, do you go back looking, oh my God, this is you know?
I mean, looking at that version of Bye Bye Na with, I think, 11 million something streams, you couldn't like wrap your head around it. Because yung banda naman namin, and me personally, wala naman kaming hits na or anything like However Which Way or like Kailanman or like Kisap Mata. But seeing that kind of validates na, oh, the 10 years that I've given to this craft, meron din palang fruit. And looking back right now, I think for artists like us, parang it's very difficult to be motivated by that. Na parang magiging hit to, every time you write a song, this is gonna be the hit. Because 95%, it's not gonna be that. You know? So you have to learn how to...
Ito tanong ko sa'yo. If 95% it's not gonna be a hit, but when you're writing, you're thinking it's gonna be a hit, knowing full well that 95% it's not gonna be a hit, is it okay to write a song thinking it won't be a hit? Would it make the chances less than 5%? Or should you keep the mindset of every creation, you're pouring your blood, sweat, and tears thinking it'll be a hit, kahit alam mong 5% lang of the time or even less, tama ka?
Yes. So, what I learned recently din talaga kasi during the journey na after the pandemic is we became practitioners of meditation.
Amen.
Yeah, so being present all the time. This is like
mindfulness.
Yes. So that's how I transformed songwriting na it is that actual creation process that is worth doing. Na nandun ka lang, yung nahit mo yung, oh, ito yung melody, ito yung chords na nasa likod niyan. That is satisfying, being in that moment. Dati hindi, parang, oh, ano ba yung ginawa ni Paco dun sa kantang to? Kailangan gawin ko rin to para maging hit. Pag hindi naging hit, you'll be depressed, sad, di ba? Ngayon natutunan ko na just to be in that moment. This is the right melody, I'll put the bass line. Oh, wow, that's pasok. And then that's it. The rest is like you just share it to the world. Whatever happens.
Good thing you mentioned meditation. If it was me talking about it, it'll sound preachy. I believe in it. I want you to share it with my audience. The benefits it's given you and Cheryl. Kayong dalawa.
Yeah. I mean, it is really life-changing, at least in the practice that we do. Nandun kami sa mindful breathing, for example.
Yes.
And then, just learning to live in this moment. Na the future doesn't exist yet. The past is over.
Ito lang ang meron mo.
Ito lang. This is the life. Ito lang. This is the life. So I'm enjoying this full moment. And here's the thing though. What I learned and what intimidates most people is that they go into meditation expecting good things only. Life is not like that. So when you practice, you need to embrace even the bad ones. Pain. So sometimes I meditate with this mantra na I'm going to die soon. I'm going to die eventually. I'm gonna get sick. So kasama sa buhay yun eh.
Stoicism yan eh.
Yeah.
Yung sinasabi mo.
Kasi we cannot, it's the cause of suffering mostly is like when you are trying to preserve something that is temporary. You know, like, oh, I'm gonna preserve this, I'm gonna be this artist, I'm gonna be this. But you cannot control that. So you have to be really open to anything. And then I think when Cheryl and I did like traveling during the pandemic, it was...
During the pandemic,
yes, in Europe, we were there. We experienced like cities getting closed when we were on the way to the
Malamang,
city.
Kayo yung nagdadala ng virus sa mga panahon.
So natutunan namin talaga na parang how important yung mag-live ka dun, matutunan mong to live in the moment.
Yeah.
Yun lang yung moment of clarity is in the present moment.
Doon ko rin natutunan magtanggal ng stress.
Yes.
When all you have is now,
Yes.
hindi mo kailangan isipin yung 10 minutes, 20 minutes
Yes.
from now. Ito lang ang meron mo. Mapapansin mo yung stress level mo bumababa rin.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the natural way of how the brain does it.
By the way,
okay.
speaking of that, no, because I'm Christian and well, they call me Paco, but
Napako.
so may ganun no. Pero napansin ko, mas madali para sa akin magdasal at mag-meditate. Kasi meditation ko is non-denominational din. It's mindfulness
Yes.
meditation So pag klaro ang utak ko, ang dali-dali magpasok ng kahit ba Bible verse, mas madali para sa akin intindihin. Like, let's go back to your music with regard to that. After meditating, is it easier for you to write songs or to go on with your day?
Yes, kasi yung mindfulness results in focus. Di ba? Pagka you know how to tune in, magiging focus ka rin sa ginagawa mo. And that is what you need to create. You have to be focused. You have to be like, all right, I'm gonna write this lyric, and you're there. You're in that moment. You're not thinking like, is this gonna be a hit? You're not thinking, how am I gonna record this? Who's gonna play this? You're just writing the words for its own sake. That's it. So, as a writer, mas focus ako, mas mabilis yung work. Kasi sa akin, parang, pag meditator ka, nakaka-develop ka ng gap between emotions and thoughts and the actual present, di ba? So, and you can apply that anywhere. Bawa, nagko-drive ka, may nag-cut sa'yo. What happens is just like sira ulo to, nag-cut. Ganun. You give into that impulse.
Yes.
Pero pag na-master mo yung technique ng, thought lang yan, you can identify the
Yes.
thoughts in your meditation, then you can control your reactions in that very split second. And that is a gift. It's actually a matter of life and death. Because sometimes when somebody cuts you off, you're like, nagalit ka, baka babaan ka nun or whatever.
Yeah, hindi mo alam.
Oo, so having that presence of mind na, yung brain ko nagagalit, just identifying that will save your life, really. And that happens when you are mindful. Because you know your breath is there, separate from the thought and the anger. And you can separate that.
Let's talk about the breath. Because kahit yung 1 minute breathing, yung inhale, exhale na 6-7 times, explain that to them how important it is. Because people, alam yung cliche na, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Actually, yun eh. Explain that how important it is for anybody in any situation.
Yeah, so yung physical na mangyayari sa'yo when you focus in your breath is immediately yung heart rate mo babagsak. Kasi ini-internalize mo yung breath when you say in, out, lahat nung we call it like the default mode network. It's like how the brain operates when you're at rest. Diyan nangyayari yung worry, diyan nangyayari yung regression, lumiputong ka sa past, ganon. So yun, pag nag-focus ko sa breath, lahat yun.
Saan?
Sa breast. Sa breath. Sorry.
Okay na eh.
Okay na. Okay. So,
Totoo na eh.
Freudian slip.
Saan tayo magfo-focus, Mr. Teodolfo?
Sa paghinga. Sa breath.
Sasabihin talaga
Sa paghinga. Mag-ano po tayo sa paghinga.
Okay.
Yan.
Sa paghiga o sa paghinga?
Yan. So I think it's very important kasi magre-relax yung buong system mo.
Okay.
And then you are grounding yourself. Na the breath is there for you. Sa akin, when I breathe, it's a signal that I'm home. Yun yung sinasabi ko, you're home. You're in ground zero. Like, you're in the present.
Yes.
That's where it is. Diba?
Kasi mindful ka mismo sa hinga mo eh.
Sa hininga mo, you're aware of it. So, pag may lumabas na, nainis ako dito sa taong to, may babalikan ka. Thought lang yan. Babalik ako sa breath ko. And then that disappears.
Kailan mo pre-practice to? New York or LA?
New York to. So,
Kailangan mo sa New York talaga yan.
yes, because New York is a very, very different culture.
To share that with our would-be immigrant audience na nagbabalak tumira sa New York. How it's a dog-eat-dog world doon eh, di ba?
Yeah, so So I worked in New York City sa MTV for a decade.
MTV, okay.
Yes. So I was the
Not MTV Asia,
it's at the main
MTV.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so I started with MTV as a producer, and then I ended up actually producing shows and content for all the channels like Comedy Central, TV Land, VH1, BET. So my role there was a production director. So, and New York City is a beast. I would say for anybody who's planning to like migrate to the States, if you're in your 20s to 30s, New York, and you're like driven, New York is for you.
Explain that.
The culture there is like, it's career driven. Like, pag nandun ka, if you're a writer or like a producer or like a musician, the city itself is extremely fast. If you miss a beat, you're left behind. I say that in a way
Kahit
na
sa paglakad sa sidewalk, hindi ka pwedeng tumayo
hindi ka pwedeng huminto o magbabagal ka. That itself explains like how the city works. So for example, sa work, para ma-recognize ka, there were times na you have to like step on other people because you have to reach that certain goal.
So laglagan, ha?
Laglagan talaga. So
And walang personalan yung laglagan.
wala. It's just work, and everybody understands that. And if it's most of the time it was my turn na ako yung nilalaglag. Oh, yung show mo sablay, whatever. Sasabihin na lang sa'yo, pero pagkasama mo yung mga coworkers mo, it's as if walang nangyari.
Oh.
Pero somebody talk now. But that's the culture, and that's the reason why New York is so attractive. It's because it develops a grit in you. Na pag nag-train ka in New York, it is correct when they say when you make it there, you're gonna be able to make it everywhere.
You know, I would like to add to that kasi the short time I was in New York, pag bakasyon mga ganon, ang napansin ko is walang race, like walang Hudyo, walang Katoliko, walang Muslim, pag isang grupo kayo, wala ring kulay, lahat kayo New Yorkers. Parang ganun yung dating.
Yes. And I think the culture there is sa simula pa lang ng paggising mo, you get your coffee from a coffee cart. Mismong yung nakapila doon at saka yung coffee nagmamadali. Because they wanna get the most of like the business. So, pag umorder ka ng can I have a cup of coffee and a donut, in 2 seconds na sa'yo na yan. So, pag nakatayo ka pa ron, in 4 seconds, yung nasa likod mo, tinutulak ka na. Hey.
So, hindi ka rin pwede tumingin sa minyo.
Wala. And that's the difference here in LA. So I think when we moved here and I quit the MTV job because it was so high pressure and umabot na ako sa edad na parang I need a change of like
10 years, ha? It took you that long, ha?
Because it was addictive at times because you know the adrenaline of like, oh, I got the best show. Like I worked at like the VMAs. That was the pinnacle for MTV. If you work the VMAs, then that's the Super Bowl. But after that, you kind of question, do I want the next year again? But for people who are driven, you have to do that. But you have to be prepared to take the heat,
right,
the pain. So I would say kung gusto mo yung life na yan, New York is for you. But it's not forever.
What was the scenario like? Did you go home? Siya ba nagsabi, let's go to LA? Ikaw ba nagsabi, you know what, I'm done? Ano kwento mo sa amin yun?
So the offer came nung I think we were in Thailand, in Bangkok.
Why did an offer even come? Did you send out fillers na?
Sa LinkedIn, people were like reaching out kasi sa experience ko. So, I was supposed to
Hindi ka nagpapakita, talagang ni-reach out lang nila randomly?
Yeah. Meron parang, hey, sa LinkedIn is like that. They're like, we saw your resume, so, but there were 2 offers during but I did like random stuff too when we were, in doing the nomad thing. So I worked for like a bag company which remotely creating content.
Wait, so after New York nag-nomad muna kayo?
Yes.
How many years kang nag-nomad?
I think it was from 2021 to 2023, right? 2 years.
Yung nomad, guys, ito yung unpacking whatever I could carry on my backpack and
that's it.
And that's it. Huh?
So we gave up our apartment in the East Coast, sold everything, whatever, like musical instruments we couldn't bring. So I still had those. Storage. So
ito yung pinag-usapan nyo pa, yung storage.
So storage kaming maliit. And then we just said what you said. Yeah. Let's just do this. So the conversation was like, it was very exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
Why?
Because it's facing the unknown.
Yun ang masarap sa meditation, Brad.
Yeah,
yung ano.
diba?
Oo.
So, we were meditating during that time too, so we were ready. Na ano ba yung bibigay sa atin nito? You take it, embrace it, the good, the bad. That's life.
And you did it as a couple.
Yes. So we wouldn't. Cheryl is like a master logistics. So
Wala
when
kayong
you guys
sisihan.
are going on tour,
Yeah.
this lady will give you the best logistics.
Okay. Pinag-usapan natin off-cam pero dali natin on-cam. So, let's talk about it again. Si Cheryl would do the itinerary
Yeah.
pagdating nyo mismo
Yeah.
kung saan kayo pupunta.
Yeah. So
Di ba mas magastos yun?
she has her way of like using points, rolling, points ng credit cards and memberships. So she has it figured out. So for example, during the height of the pandemic, we were in Amsterdam. So gusto namin mag-Amsterdam, tayo dyan, Amsterdam tayo dahil okay dyan. Then we got the announcement from the government that we were there on the weekend and Sunday they're closing the city. So because of the Delta variant.
Yeah.
So when they close it, you can't leave the hotel. So we were like, sayang na to. So
Oh.
right then and there, that Saturday night, we were looking at the map and Cheryl's like, where do you want to go? So we were like, let's go to Berlin. And then she figured it out how to get to Berlin using a train before midnight. Para lang makadating kami doon and save ourselves time. And then we got there, nasa train kami. She was looking like for accommodations. So eto, dito na tayo. Okay, so mura siya kasi it was the pandemic too. So everybody was like not doing traveling. Perfect storm siya in terms of the experience kasi mura lahat eh.
Yeah.
Even Switzerland was cheap because no one was like flying there.
So you took advantage of touring the world during the pandemic.
I mean, there was no other time to
Baga, kung saan pupunta ang COVID, doon di kayo pupunta. Sabay-sabay.
and luckily we never got the disease like during that time. Yeah. And it was nerve-wracking in a sense that I think you have to be ready for anything. And that's where like the mindfulness comes in. And so when we were in Bangkok, this offer came.
Umabot pa kayo sa Asia, ha?
Oh, meron pa kaming ginawa nun na classic Cheryl and I think this is a good tip. So we were living in Tokyo. Tapos,
When you say living in Tokyo, gaano katagal to? What would be defined as living?
more than 2 weeks.
What the heck? Okay,
So
go.
maybe almost a month. So tapos nag-book siya ng The Cure concert sa Frankfurt, Germany. During that time.
Habang nasa Bangkok kayo.
Or Bangkok. Tapos nagpunta kami sa Japan. Tapos, bago ko itanggapin yung job, sabi sa akin, if you're gonna take this, you have to attend the Christmas party in LA. So I'm like, how do we do this in like a week? So ang nangyari, if she figured it out, we were in Tokyo, we went to Frankfurt.
To watch the concert.
For 2 days, we were there, right? From Bangkok to Frankfurt pala. So sa Frankfurt, napanood namin ng The Cure. Pagkatapos nun, pumunta kami sa Tokyo. Pagdating sa Tokyo...
Teka, ano ginawa niyo sa Tokyo? Wala lang.
Wala lang. So because we just wanted to be there. We met a friend there.
Okay.
So pagdating namin doon sa Tokyo, pumunta kaming LA para to attend the Christmas party ng bagong company. And then we went back to Tokyo. And then from Tokyo, we went to Manila to watch the E-Heads reunion.
Oh, yung December 22.
Oo. Tapos, bumalik na kami sa LA to move nung bandang April na. So, your original question was like, ano yung conversation
Yes.
when we move here? It's basically just, we haven't been here. It's as simple as that.
You've been around the world.
Not LA.
Wow.
So, it's like, we haven't been there. We have friends there. Let's give it a try. So, we signed up. Otherwise, if I didn't take the Sony work, I would have worked remotely forever because there was an offer for a tech company na forever remote.
Ito, long-running competition namin ni Michael Abad to. So, for your remote work, anong computer gamit mo? Is it a Mac or a PC?
I've never used a PC in my life.
Yes! Shing, Michael
Yeah.
Abad! Oh!
Wait, Michael uses a PC?
Yes.
Oh my God. Both.
Wow, kapal ang mukha. Yung Mac mo, hindi nga ginagamit yun. Pwede mo bilhin pa mo.
Pentium pa rin?
Oo.
Pentium 3. Windows 98.
Kita mo, naghanap ng kakampihan.
I think for specific purposes though, the Windows
Yeah,
machine,
yeah.
like business,
Yeah.
yung ganun. But for creative work, Sa Mac. Sponsored ka naman ng Apple no?
Then I wish. I wish. Okay, so now you're in LA. Ano ang contrast ng New York at saka LA?
You guys are kinder here, I would say. You're nicer people.
Bakit para sa akin,
warm.
Cheryl baliktad. Feeling ko, New York ang nicer. New York.
I mean, in terms of like
Yeah,
diversity,
let's discourse and debate that.
So yeah,
Okay.
so New York is very diverse, but in terms of Asian diversity, this is the place. We've never seen any place like this.
O sige, ikaw doon ka nanggagaling sa diversity of Asian. Ako naman, sa diversity of opinion. Whether they like you or not like you sa New York, they will respect you. Para sa
So
akin.
dito hindi.
Dito hindi. Pag iba ka, dito nanggagaling ang cancel culture.
So dito nagsisimula yung woke
Yes,
sa California.
California.
Oh, we haven't
Kasi
experienced
you
that.
haven't said the wrong things.
And I suppose you have.
Of course. Pero sa New York, you can say and express whatever you want. Di ba kaya kami naked cowboy sa...
Yeah.
Dito hindi mo pwede gawin yun.
Talaga?
Hindi.
So sa akin yung parang the difference in terms of warmth is as simple as like the restaurant crew.
Yan.
Sa New York pumasok ka, you'll get an attitude.
Yeah.
I would say it's an honest attitude
Yes.
because they're not trying to please you. It's who they are.
And then the food is what it is, di ba?
Yes. Dito merong kindness
Yes.
na nasa harapan na.
So kahit hindi masarap yung pagkain, kailangan kainin mo dahil...
So interesting yung sinabi mo kasi do you think na yung napiperceive naming kindness ng California,
Totoo yun.
totoo yun o hindi?
Totoo yun.
It's not like a fake.
Very kind people. That's why you have to tolerate. Kaya may tolerance.
I see.
That's why, di ba? And it works eh.
Yeah.
Like if you want the hard truth, punta ka New York. Because if
That's
you
true.
suck,
Yeah,
you suck. Dalawa lang ang audience mo.
that's true.
Dito, titiisin ka eh.
Oh, nga, that's true. So I think in that sense, LA for us is very welcoming.
Yes.
In terms of like when I got here, we know that maraming kaibigan dito. Nandiyan si Paco, si
Yes.
Papay,
Yes.
sila
Mike.
Tim, sila Mike. So it will be easy.
And you know what? We'll have time for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sa New York, magkakaaminan tayo. Ilang beses ako nag-New York nung nandun ka.
Syempre. Kasi
Busy.
cutthroat nga doon. Busy
Oo.
ka.
Diba?
So,
And I don't take offense and you don't take offense. Pero dito, wow, Brad, really? Wala kang time? Di ba?
yeah, that's true.
So may ganon.
And then I think LA, you guys have great weather. In New York, it's difficult. It's
let's
very
talk
hot.
about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's extremes. Yung winter doon gets really, really cold. And after spending most of our adult lives there, after this, I don't see myself like wearing like, layers anymore. So, it's an...
Anong feeling nun?
It's
Lalo na kung nakatira ka
life-changing.
sa Jersey na suburb na kailangan mag-shovel.
Shovel ka ng
Oo.
snow, di ba? Or yung parang, labas mo yung trash.
Yeah.
Talagang,
Ilang
oh
beses
my
kang
God,
sumemplang
negative.
sa sidewalk.
Exactly. -4 yung temperature. You have to take the trash out. It's a conversation that you should have with your other half. Like, who's doing this?
Black.
Because it's cold. So, and here, it's not a problem. I volunteer. I'll do it. I'll go out. I'll do this. But kasi the weather is perfect. And I'm stressing the fact of like the Asian diversity here. The
Okay, go.
presence.
Let's talk about that. Yan.
Because if you traveled the world, there were places in Europe na in Switzerland, for example. This is a real story. We were in sa Interlaken, sa Switzerland, during the pandemic. We got off the train. There was a Korean person there. He saw us and hugged us, crying.
Crying?
You're the first Asians I've seen in 3 years. You hear that, you're like mind blown. And then
North Korean ba to?
Malamang. I get that all the time. So he was so emotional. So, oh my God, like this is how it is in this place. Wala talagang
Yeah.
Asian presence.
Yeah.
And we made the terrible mistake of eating at a Chinese restaurant there.
Why was it a terrible mistake?
Because it cost us $200
Oh my
and it
God.
was very bad. The Chinese food was very bad.
Really ba?
Yeah, so, and then we go to a place like this, San
Authentic.
Gabriel, it's like, oh my God, it's like blocks of like, it's an entire
hell
highway of like,
Yeah.
I'm like, we're never going back to go anywhere because you're spoiled here. I had meron akong coworker from Long Island na from MTV. Nag-move din siya dito.
Ano lahi niya?
She's white.
She's white. Okay.
So, she's having a hard time naman eating the Chinese food here because it's so real. Sa New York, beef with broccoli lang. So dito nakakita sila ng paa ng manok.
Oo.
So they're like, what is
Alam mo,
this
nakapunta
place?
na ako ng China. No? Nakapunta kami ng ni Janelle sa Peking.
Beijing mismo?
Hindi, Peking. Ano
Oh.
ba Peking?
Beijing.
Beijing ba is
Yeah,
Peking? Oh, yun, di ba? So, ang order lang namin is duck. Kasi hindi mo pwede sabihin Peking duck. Nandun ka na eh. No? Yeah.
Duck lang.
Duck lang.
Hindi
mo
Chinese food, no? Food lang.
Food lang.
Food lang. Tama yan, food lang.
I'm gonna have the duck.
So, meron nabasa, we were talking about this, like Sharon and I, about Asians being kind of like on a higher level dito sa East Coast, sa West Coast compared sa anywhere in the US. Kasi you have it great here. Like for example, we were at a grocery store, tas may santol. Sa East Coast wala yun eh. So, meron ka na kagad parang bragging rights na wala kayo niyan. Dito, kalat yung
Alam mo,
atis dito.
sa El Monte Pai, doon ako bumibili ng lansones,
Oh,
atis,
yeah, diba?
santol,
So, pag pumunta ka sa
siniguelas.
East Coast, tapos nagsasalita ka na, for breakfast doon, nagsasantol, ako siniguelas, or ang yabang ng dating mo sa mga Pilipino, yabang naman ito, wala kasi kami doon. So, it's very hard to leave this place, really, because of the diversity in terms of Asians. Kasi, I think it is important for me. I know I'm not racist or anything, but after traveling, you will get a sense that talagang merong othering. So,
Othering, that's a nice term.
yes, so we were in the border of France and Germany.
Others ka ron.
Others ka. Talagang, Cheryl made the big mistake of wearing something that made her look like Sailor Moon. So, the entire grocery store was looking at her like an audience. Akala nagko-cosplay siya. But she was just wearing something and everyone was like that. And that's nerve-wracking. Like, oh my God, you have to leave here. Like, they look at you like you're a character or something. But it was normal. So, and then you come here, everyone's dressed, in my area, sa Little Tokyo, everyone's wearing that.
Kahit ano, yeah.
So, and there's comfort in that. Na, the Japanese culture, Filipino culture, and especially the Filipino culture, it's like the James Beard awardee, best chef, is Filipino.
Yes.
Lord, we ate there. It's delicious food.
Galing, no?
Galing. So, normal.
We'll have him on the podcast soon.
You have to, yeah. And he should bring here the pork
food.
belly.
Oh my God, di ba?
The chami. But, yeah, so when you compare Los Angeles, they're two different things. I think it's a matter of a period in your life. If you're that 20-something and you want to, achieve something in terms of like career, New York will shape you.
So, ba't di ka nagkaanak?
It's a conscious decision. We're probably too busy to do that. So,
Nasa New York kayo na nag-decide kayo, ngayon nasa LA na kayo.
we're still busy. We're traveling. Actually, we're leaving next, And I think being parents is like a full-time devotion, So,
Pero ang galing, no? Talagang naisip niyong dalawa yan. College sweethearts. When you said you guys are gonna build a life together, it was just the two of you. Kailan naging conscious decision na it'll be the two of you?
it's from very early on.
Wow.
Because we wanted to do many things. We wanted to travel, make music. Cheryl is doing like all the content and like the photography and everything. So I'm not sure if like we will come to a point where we're gonna stop that.
Ilan kayo magkakapatid?
9. I'm the youngest
Buti
of
na
9.
lang 9. Kasi isa pare, isa ka. So isip mo kung dalawa lang kayo.
So yun nga eh. So parang I think, and I'm gonna ask you this question nga. Do you ever see yourself not doing music? Because I have a friend who just quit cold turkey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and years after I spoke to him like, you still play guitar? He was like, no, it's like my past life. Do you see yourself ever doing that? Like not
No.
doing?
Nag-iisip lang ako ng creative ways of writing a song, you know? Parang I couldn't see myself not writing songs.
Right, diba?
Ikaw?
I mean, it's unthinkable. Like for a writer, even if you don't release it, just like playing the drums or like the guitar in a day there was a time na nung at the very first part of our nomading, since ang liit ng gamit namin, I didn't have music for like 8 months. And Cheryl started saying, the next time you have to bring an instrument because you're in a terrible shape. I'm moody or whatever.
Wala ka bang iPhone?
Ang hirap yung garage band doon. So when we landed in London, I think, and we went to Vienna, doon bumili ako ng maliit na interface. And I started writing electronic
Maliit na interface
music.
like Scarlett?
Oh, Scarlett.
Na solo?
Oo, solo. Tapos may controller. So electronic music yung ginagawa ko ron.
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, you're much better now. I can talk to you because you're doing that.
Tingnan mo, let's talk about that, di ba? Like kami ni Brian, meron kaming pustahan na every week mag-upload kami ng content. Guys, si Brian is si Sir Ulo, so subscribe to his channel on YouTube.
Sir Ulo, Papay.
Si Papay. So, every week, kahit importante, yung activity umaandar. Ngayon nga, now that you're saying that, DistroKid made it easy for DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby, kahit you just mentioned meron kang interface, meron kang controller, you're doing electronic music on your laptop.
Yeah.
What's stopping you and me from just creating electronic music and then uploading that?
No, yeah.
Diba?
It's easy for us now. Back in the day...
Pero ba't di natin ginagawa?
Ayun nga. So, motivate. Kailangan mong motivate ka dyan. So,
$20
I think your system works. Kasi Papay himself was like nervous. Nauunahan mo na siya. Diba? So, and I think... Can I have my bag? I think I'm gonna give the CDs to Paco.
Yun, no?
So, in terms of like something like music, diba? There are times na hindi ka naman talaga makaka-write.
Yeah.
And you have this conscious effort to be behind the scenes. So this is a special one na I'm gonna share with you. So I executive produced this. If you recognize the bands in there.
Wow. Oh, wow. Ocean Zoo. Ethnic Faces, pre-ethnic faces to. Violent Playground. Silos. Alam mo ba na Silos. Paul Benitez. Pati si Nino Messina. Diba? Silos.
So
Paul Benitez, guys, was one of the founding members of South Border. Violent Playground, Sinaraton. Original ba to?
Original recording from 1980 to 1986. Na ni-record sa RJ.
Lost Boys. Pucha, IC.
Yes.
Integrated. Oh my God.
So Rani Torres from
Ocean Zoo.
Oh, and
Ethnic
then
Faces.
Ethnic Faces. Siyang producer ng Free Souls dati ng albums namin. So we just we had a conversation kasi I work sa Sony sa division ng sync licensing ng music. So my job as editorial director there is to promote the artists we have na ginagamit. The company is basically administering music for sync, for movies. Like
Yes.
our clients are Netflix.
So you understood the conversation I had with you kanina.
Yeah,
diba?
like, and it makes perfect sense. So I started like a company na sync Filipino naman called NSFU. So Rani, he's a producer and he has a label in the Philippines. So he sent me artists na baka pwedeng i-pitch mo yan dyan sa mga ano. So doon nagsimula ang conversation.
So original recording
Yes,
to.
so-
16 track to. Yung iba nga,
yung IC, I think it's a
4
4 track.
track.
Yeah.
Oo.
So the quality, you pag pinakinggan mo, so I released this as a vinyl. Limited na sold out yun. Sold out in like 2 days or 3 days. So Rani...
Mike, marami tayong mapupulot dito kay kay Ted Reyes. Kay Teodolfo.
So si Rani ang may-ari nung songs kasi he recorded them when it was airing sa RJ. So I think RJ sponsored these bands to play and record music. So never been released until now. So this is for you.
Wow!
So yung vinyl, ang dami, when I get home sa Manila, a lot of people are asking for a reissue. So when I decide na i-reissue yan, I'll give you a copy of the vinyl record.
You heard it, guys. Okay.
Yeah. So yan.
Wow.
Yan.
Buti na lang yung isang Mac ko, May CD-ROM drive.
And I think this is like, I'm bringing this up because at least industry na, I'm in the industry.
Yes. You're with Sony.
CDs and vinyls and cassettes are coming back.
They are coming back.
Big time. And the kids nowadays appreciate that more. Because we did like a study sa work. And apparently what they find interesting in a cassette is that when they create a mixtape, it is personal.
Yes.
There is effort.
Yes.
So when they give it to somebody special, it means something.
Katulad ng Spotify playlist.
Oo, isasend mo na.
Tik. Baliwala.
So I think for a label owner like you, it's good to have like hard copy. So the strategy right now actually in some labels is like they hold off on the streaming. Like 6 months. They start with hard copies muna.
Galing, no?
Yeah. And a good source of income because
Ano naman yun? Hindi akin, akin yun.
Sa'yo rin yan. Sa inyo yan. Kasi ayan yung solo record ko na pinopromote ko.
Okay.
So may
Pag-usapan natin ang trip sa field.
Yes.
Saan mo kinunan? Saan kinunan to?
Dito yan sa LAB, no? Montebello. May isang park doon.
So, umaaligid-aligid kayo sa studio ko, hindi pa kayo nagpupunta rito. Oh my God.
We never get the invite nung panahon na yun. So.
Okay, Michael,
But trip sa field, yan ang solo project ko ngayon. Because I don't have a band.
Well, you have a studio now, ha? Pwede mo gamitin itong studio ko anytime.
That would be great.
Pwede siya pumalo, si Brian, no? Pwede
That's
ako
my
pumalo.
dream.
Yeah.
Dream ko yan na mag-collaborate kami niyan. Kababata ko yan si Brian. My band, yung Happy Analogs, yun yung active band ko. Mga nasa East Coast pa sila eh. So it's hard for somebody na here na walang banda, no?
Yeah.
I talked to Tim. They're busy, but they have their own band. So I had to like have an output. So I just recorded all these here on my own. Pero may mga collaborators dyan. Rames played 2 songs.
Okay, what did Rames play? Rames is Raymond Marasigan, right?
Yeah, he played Pautang Naman.
Pinautang ka ba?
Hindi. So, at saka yung Sukob sa Payong. So I played drums there, recorded sa studio ni si Shinji.
Okay.
And then
Sa Philippines?
Sa Philippines. Pero it was a while back. I think Sandwich was on tour and I was playing bass for him. And I was like, I have 2 songs. And he was like, send it to me. And he played it there and then sent me the tracks. Ngayon ko lang talaga ako nagkaroon ng time to mix it. And
Alam mo ba, I'm gonna share this now. We were on the topic of music. We're still on the topic of music. Si Raymond, na nandito siya sa podcast, kunento niya every day. And because of him, ginagawa ko rin to. Every day, he'll record a drum part, a chord progression, recite a poem, or maybe a riff, and then save it sa folder. Folder, whether it's Squid 9, whether it's Sandwich, whether it's Ultra Combo, whether it's Eraserheads, whatever, kung anong, or miscellaneous na pwedeng ibigay sa ibang artist. Meron siyang folder na ganon.
galing.
And you know, because of this conversation, I'd like to remind all of you, if you're a creative, di ba, just write for the garbage can.
Yes.
Kumbaga,
Exactly.
do it.
Yes.
Okay, so, Pautang Naman, tapos ano yung isa?
Sukob sa Payong, he played drums on those 2 songs. Tapos may collaborators ako from the East Coast. Nanay, which is an acoustic one, is a collaboration with Gachi Ignacio, na singer ng Quagos. And Dilubio with Chet Del Mundo ng Binky Bianca Band. So, I just had to do something. But,
Anong genre ng music?
that's the thing. When you're doing solo, you're kind of free to do whatever you
Yes.
want. Right? So, because you're pretty much making the decision. Like, merong acoustic, meron dyang part na heavy rock, meron dyang pop, may parang electronic. So, I think for people na used sa bands, it's good na sometimes you do a solo just to let things go.
Your way. Yes.
Wala kang, usually drummers ang problema eh.
Yeah. Kumbaga, lalo pag na-unanimous ka na, wala na.
Wala na.
Okay.
Usually pag sinabi mo, ito yung play mo, hindi ka papansinin eh. So sometimes it's important if you're a writer to do something solo like this. Para just to let off some steam or like, oh, I've always wanted to do this type of song but hindi bagay sa banda. So, but this fall, the Happy Analogs yung banda ko will be touring Manila for a couple of shows there.
Galing.
Yeah, so...
So makikita tayo ron. Kasi December 29, andun din ang playback jukebox
Oh,
sa Manila.
wow!
Kaya,
Di another podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, with regard to this, is this on streaming already?
No, so I'm holding back. So once na-release yung vinyl,
Can they purchase this?
not
No.
yet. So this is unreleased, not available yet. So I'm releasing this commercially sa sa fall pa pag na may vinyl na.
So we'll post a link in the description dito sa episode ni Ted Reyes.
Okay, Mike.
Hindi ba tayo magkakaroon ng album na Teodolfo?
Marami, pwede yan. Medyo Spanish sounding. Medyo flamenco
Ito
style.
simulan ni Brian eh.
Kaya nga, I mean,
TRJ.
Sama ng tunog. Parang DOM. TRJ, DOM.
Dati nga kami na Team de Ramos, may banda kami yung TDR.
Banda niya, solo niya.
Hindi ako, tigas naman niya kung sasabihin. No, apat kami ron sa TDR. Actually, ayaw nga niyang ipangalan yung banda na TDR, kami lang nagsabi. So it was JJ Buencamino, me, si Tim De Ramos at saka si Mark Anthony. So apat kami.
Mark Anthony Fernandez?
And I wish, diba?
Okay.
Diba? Tawagan lang natin siya Mark Anthony.
Yeah, so I think the good thing about the scene here, kasi naging scene builder din ako sa New York, no? Meron kami eksena dyan na the good thing here is like everyone's active. Everyone's playing. Sa New York, pag hindi kami dumating doon for walang event, ganun.
So what can you say about the scene here, the local scene sa Los Angeles?
It's there's a lot of places you can play here.
Okay.
And that is a gift in my opinion. Kasi sa East Coast, pag walang magkusang maggumawa, walang tutugtog. So somebody has to do it. I was hoping na when we left there, may mga bagong bands na, hey, organize shows. We were there April and nag-organize kami ng show. And that was the only time with that. But here, I see you guys playing everywhere. Like, Tim's band is playing. Dennis and Annette, they're doing their thing.
Thieves Like Us,
That's healthy. Sa akin, basta may lugar, may music, that's all you could hope for. Ako, I tried doing some gigs here, but I'm new. So, hindi ko kilala pa yung mga sino may-ari ng bars, ganon. So, but I think buhay ang musikero dito na Pilipino, and that's amazing.
Compensation sa music, sa live musicians. Paano ang bayaran sa New York?
Kasi most of the bands there that I know, we all play originals.
Yes.
So, hindi expected yun na i-cover yun ng venue. What we do is like we sell tickets. Tas hati-hati ang banda. Wala dun yung venue kagaya dito na the bar will pay you. So, hindi siya issue sa amin. At least dun sa eksena yun. Dito, even sa work, basta may talent involved, you have to pay. I've never, produce na ako ng show for my company, one in LA and one in New York. We've always paid, it's an out of the question that you're not paying them or even paying them, lowballing them. You have to respect the work.
Yeah.
It's not just the product of the person playing there. There's rehearsals involved,
Yun na nga,
the
diba?
investment in equipment. So I'm not sure how much people are paying, how much clubs are paying you guys here, but it has to be at a premium, in my opinion, because of the effort in the sometimes they just see, the glamour of like, Paco's playing drums. You don't know like how much work we put in. It's years of like perfecting the craft to be able to like play in real time. May nag-request. That's years of playing. And if you don't honor that by right compensation,
True.
You're doing something wrong.
So ano future ninyo ni Cheryl dito sa LA?
It's very exciting. Like, although we're leaving for a while.
Where to?
We're traveling to Asia, around Asia.
So your Sony gig, is this work from home? Remote?
No. So hybrid siya, 2 days a week.
Oh, nice.
Pero ngayon magmo-move kasi yung office sa bandang La Brea area where Sony Animation is.
Yes.
So may 1.5 months na remote lahat.
So wala na sa Culver ang
Hindi, yun Sony
movie pictures.
Okay. So ngayon we were forced to like be remote. My coworkers are staying in LA and we're not doing that. We're just going to Thailand, Vietnam and do that. Kasi but we will be back here because it's great. LA is great. And you guys have, I think like a podcast like this is an amazing help sa community. You don't know how much like you're letting people know about our culture, about what's going on.
Thank you.
And you guys are movers, so in New York, we were movers there. So we know the importance of like something like this. You're giving a voice to everybody.
Yes,
no matter
sir.
if it's a musician or like a chef, it's getting the word out there and, representing.
Popular or not popular, alam mo ba nakakatuwa nga sa Paco's Place, yun ang sinabi namin mas nagfo-focus kami sa mga local people sa community, and then we have the big names to validate the local artists, di ba? Kasi when now that you're saying that, sabi ko nga sa chair na yan, ang dami ng sikat at hindi sikat ang umupo sa upuan na yan.
And I think it's important to hear the perspectives of everybody.
Yes.
Like somebody like Rames or like Apple the App, and then somebody who's like a chef or a nurse, perspectives like that are important for everybody so that you know the full story of like the experience here,
So advice, before I let you go, advice for people who are in the middle of their lives, still trying to find their identity.
So I will always veer towards the practice of being present. That's the only place you'll discover yourself, in my opinion. The rest, if you're like fascinated with like being somebody and you're not there yet, your life would be a struggle because you're chasing something that is not there. But if you are really focusing on now and you know what you can do, that's how you're gonna live your life, like step by step. All of us, musicians, artists, writers, hindi tayo nagsimula na we can write music already. Like, you have to undergo stages of like 80 bad songs before you get to one good song, right? So, but if you're already thinking, I want to get to that one good song, then you're gonna struggle because you're not gonna get there until you go through those steps. And to embrace that present na, I wrote a song, it's bad. It's part of it. Then move on to the next song. Move on to the next song. Whether it's you're an artist or you're like a dentist, perfect your craft. The only place where that happens is in the present, when you're doing the actual work. If you're extracting a tooth, you'll see, be mindful, mali, medyo nahugot ko yung
medyo
dila.
Mali yung ngipin.
Nahugot ko yung dila. Ganon. So next time hindi. That's where so that's my advice. Like, try to quiet down yung pagbalik mo sa past ng mistakes mo or yung pag-project mo sa future na this is what you want to become. You're not gonna get there until you're in the present because that's the only place where life is, the present. So build on that. This podcast, whether kung ano ka, drummer ka, put in the work. Enjoy every beat, every that you're making, and eventually, before you know it, you're getting there. So sa akin yun lang. It sounds so simple and probably even naive to say that, but at least in my practice, that's how you're gonna be good at anything if you focus on like what you're doing now. So yeah.
Are you living a full life?
Every present moment is full for me. Like this one is immense. This experience of like talking to you. When I was in high school, I was just looking at your album cover. And this one here, I'm talking to you. It's a profound moment that will never happen again in the future because the future is not there yet.
Yes.
But this one here is full. That's how far I can go. Like right now, I have Cheryl here. I have my childhood buddy, Papay, Mike, and you. This is the full experience of life right now. And that's the only way you can enjoy it right now. So it's full.
Well, lahat kami nag-enjoy din. Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Reyes!
Thank you.
So don't forget, itong mga to, we will post this sa link. Ayan, okay? Abangan nyo. And guys, let's support each other. And yun nga, yun yung magandang mensahe. Live in the present. It's all we have.
Thanks, Paco.